Beautiful Tuesday morning right here on High Impact TV. It's the Breakfast Cafe and my name is Vivian Oguche. It's a pleasure to have you join us. Like we said right here, I'm not flying solo. I got right opposite me, looking dapper as usual, Olumide. Hi Olumide.
Good morning, how are you doing?
I'm good, good morning.
How was your night?
Awesome.
I guess mine is also awesome.
Have you ever heard someone say to you that, I don't have a problem with it, but some people say it's not too kosher to say how was your night?
Yes, I've heard that saying. I can't remember why the reason why, but I've heard something like that. So what's the right
Some
thing
people
to say?
feel it should be left for. In case you're wondering why I'm listening to the producer speak to me. He said so many things happened during the night, so you don't say, how was your night? Okay. I don't have a problem
so
with
hope
it.
You slept well is better.
Hope you slept well. Hope you had a restful night.
Hope you had a restful night. Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Cafe. This is your daily dose of inspiration and motivation. I am Olumide Shokoya. So we kick off with banters and etiquette after the short break. All right, so today on etiquette, or banters rather, we'll be talking about pushing past fear and self-doubt. Now, pushing past fear and self-doubt refers to the process of overcoming and managing feelings of anxiety, uncertainty, and lack of confidence that hold you back from achieving your goals, pursuing opportunities, or taking risk. Now, understanding fears and self-doubt. 1. Fear is an emotional response to perceived threat or unknown outcomes. Self-doubt, negative talk, questioning one's ability and lack of confidence, such as when you're about to take on a very important task, you question, or when you're being given a task to perform, probably at work, and you start to say, will I be able to achieve this within the deadline, or will I be able to meet the deadline? Will I be able to carry out all these things and do it perfectly? You know, those are some of the things we encounter.
Do you know what happens when you begin to have these kind of thoughts? When you question your ability, you don't perform.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, there are different types of fear and self-doubt. One is fear of failure. Well, I'm sure you can relate with that. Fear of success. I think everyone can relate with that one.
You can relate with fear of success. Yeah, are you scared of being successful?
At some point, especially leaving school, leaving university, the society believes that once you leave the university, you're supposed to have a car, you're supposed to buy a house, you're supposed to do so many things, you're supposed to be successful at a particular age.
Yeah, that is fear of what people think.
For all people think.
Yeah, I don't think that's fear of success. I'm not scared of success. I want to be successful. In fact, I long to be successful. But like you said, one of the things we must overcome is depending on people for validation. You must not be validated by what he or she thinks about you.
Or social media.
Oh, gosh, yeah, on the same wavelength with me this morning. You don't look to social media to validate yourself. It must come from inside. Yeah.
All right, now we have fear of the unknown. Now, fear of the unknown is you don't know what the future might hold for you. You're not certain about, you're not even confident that this particular project or something might work. That's fear of the unknown. Now, self-doubt in abilities, when you begin to doubt yourself that, oh, I might not be able to meet expectations, I might not be able to carry out this task my boss gave me or something like that. Self-doubt in decision making. When you decide that, okay, I want to do something, and you go back and say, did I make the right decision? Am I doing the right thing? That's self-doubt. Now, there are different symptoms that lead to fear of the unknown, or fear and self-doubt. Now, one is procrastination, of course. Procrastination, when you want to do something and you say, oh, I'll keep that, don't worry, I'll do it later, and you keep on postponing it until a later date. Avoidance, when you totally avoid doing certain things because you don't even believe you can achieve such a thing. Anxiety.
Oh, gosh.
That one.
This one for me has been a Herculean task. I had to be intentional to overcome anxiety. I used to be a very anxious person, but thank God I overcame it.
Now, we have negative self-talk. You know, once in a while, you have this, how do I put it? You have a bad angel, you have a good angel.
Really?
Whispering to you. One is giving you good advice, one is giving you bad advice.
So you have to choose.
So you have to choose
which one to listen
which
to.
one to listen
For
to.
who do you listen to though?
The good one.
Ah!
Now we have lack of motivation. Now we have different consequences if you have.
Sorry,
fear.
let me take you back a little
Yes.
bit. You talked about lack of motivation. Do
Yes.
you want to expatiate on that a little bit?
Lack of motivation. Yes, in a country like Nigeria,
Oh,
where so many things are going on, you know, it's easy to lose focus, easy to be motivated. Motivated is just having something that pushes you forward, something that wakes you up in the morning. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and you ask yourself, why do I even have to go to work today? That's lack of motivation. When you are driving at times and you're like, why am I even working? What are the benefits of this job? Why am I even going to work? Why am I even doing this? Why am I even getting married? Why am I even in this relationship? Those are lack of motivation.
how about dreams? When I have a dream, it motivates me like there's no tomorrow, because I keep reaching until the dream is fulfilled.
I like that. Now, let's go on. The consequences, missed opportunities. Yes, when you have fear and self-doubt, you miss opportunities. You're in a gathering. You see people, especially, that's why they say network is your network. You're in a gathering. You see
Say that
people,
again.
Your network is your net worth. We are in a gathering. You see people, influential people, and you want to speak, and and they're discussing, and you probably know some of the things they're discussing, but you're like, I don't measure up to this kind of people. You don't know, maybe if you might say something, they might pick an interest in you and be like, so what do you do? And they might even want to, do business with you. Those are the opportunities you might miss when you fear to talk or you fear to do things. You have self-doubt.
So what you're saying is don't undersell yourself.
Don't undersell yourself. Now we have stunted growth. That is self-explanatory. I mean, if you have doubt, if you are having fears, you remain at a certain level, because what it does is it doesn't make you fine. Yes, you might have fear. Fine, you might feel that this thing might not work. But the good thing about it is either it works or you learn from your mistakes.
I could pay you premium money for this thing you just said.
So that's the thing.
So don't be even afraid of making mistakes. You learn from your mistakes.
And that's how you grow.
That's how you grow.
But if you decide not, or if you procrastinate, you remain at a certain level, and that's stunted growth.
Yeah.
Now, we have decreased confidence. Of course, when you have fear, your confidence will always reduce. It always reduces. Now, we have increased stress. Yeah. Yes. That one is self-explanatory. And then you have regret, because that's one of the things that motivates me to do anything. That regret of not being able to know what would have happened if you had done this.
It's a painful thing.
It's a very painful thing. It's better if you make a mistake and you learn from it than you regretting, I wish I had done this. And you now find out someone else did that same thing and it worked. Now we have strategies to push past fear and self-doubt. One is acknowledge and accept fear. I think that is self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Acknowledge, and that's actually a bold step. It's very bold. It's actually confident. It's usually being confident enough to accept that, okay, I have fear for certain things, but I am going to go take it head on.
What you just described is called courage.
Exactly.
So what you do is you are courageous. You know that you're fearful, but you say, okay, I'm fearful, but I will overcome this fear. And what you're doing is you're not living in self-denial.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now we have this one: reframe negative thoughts. Reframe negative thoughts. Just that's what I said earlier on, the good angel and the bad angel. Sometimes I kind of criticize myself. So as I'm criticizing myself, I'm also.
Do you call it criticizing or critiquing?
Mine is, I'm brutal sometimes. So I criticize myself.
Yeah.
So as I'm criticizing myself, I'm
Yeah.
giving myself back something. So as I'm criticizing myself, this thing you didn't do it very well. I'm like, okay, I'm going to even do it better. Do you understand? So that's how you can actually, overcome that. Now, break down goals into smaller steps. Yes, break it down into smaller steps so that you can be able to, do it one step at a time. Seek support and feedback. Don't feel that you're an island or you're just alone. No man is an island, like they say. Seek support. Whatever you want to do in this life, try and ask others. You don't know that person's input might even help you overcome your fear. So you have to, seek all that.
But be mindful of who you go to for advice. Yeah.
I like that one. Now, practice mindfulness and self-compassion.
I like that
Develop
one.
problem solving. Create small wins. Yes, celebrate your small wins, rather. Learn from failure, just like I said. Learn from failure so that you move on quickly. Focus on progress, not perfection. And lastly, develop a growth mindset. Always aspire to grow, always aspire to learn more. And the only way you can learn more is when you seek knowledge. I think I will put a stop there, but I hope you've learned a couple of things from every other thing that we've talked about, fear and self-doubt. Let's go over now to the daily newspapers. We'll be right back with the newspaper review. Stay tuned.
Well, it's the Breakfast Cafe right here on High Impact TV. I am Vivian Oguche, and right opposite me is Olumide Shokoya. Now, this segment is where we get to take a look at the national dailies. And we begin with The Guardian, right? A major headline says, electricity crisis hits Niger, others as FG, that's the federal government, deploys military to protect assets. Now, there's an infographic here, very important one, on the front page of The Guardian. I'd like for us to quickly take a look at it. It says from 2022 till date, over 140, let's see, 140 and then 13.2 kV / 330 kV electricity towers were vandalized. That is mind-boggling. Also, repairs cost taxpayers approximately 15.4 billion. Also, federal government through NERC loses 1.06 billion naira daily to the current outage. Below that, we have the CBN IFC seal $1 billion deal on local currency financing. Beside that story, CJN NGC launch probe into conflicting judgments on rivers disputes. I don't know if this tickles your fancy, Olumide.
Yes, we've been having different judgments, and you know, we had a lot of analysts come on the show and say a court will give a judgment on in River State, and someone will go to Abuja and get another judge. It's making a mockery of the judiciary. That's all I have to say.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Now, this other story on the front page of The Guardian says, we've lost income to 5 months blackout. Bielsa residents are lamenting now. And then the MSMEs as well are lamenting. Obaseki says future extension workers will emerge from Agric College. Let me take that again. Obaseki says future extension workers will emerge from Agric College. You want to find out what that is all about? Just go straight to page 7, The Guardian. Let's see this one here. Manchester City's Rodri beats Vinicius Junior to Ballon d'Or. All right, sports lovers, go straight to Panorama page 2. That's where you get details of that story. Let's hear from our former president now. Presidency chides Obasanjo for criticizing Tinubu. Okay, so this is it. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo criticized President Tinubu. The presidency now is chiding Obasanjo for criticizing President Tinubu. Just go straight to page 5 for details of that story. Last but not least, Abbas 6, equal citizenship for foreigners married to Nigerian women. Interesting. Page 4 has details, and that wraps it up for us on front page of The Guardian.
All right, let's move on to the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. On the Daily Trust newspaper, the bold caption says, Northern governors and monarchs, of course, they rejected the tax reform bill. Northern governors, monarchs reject tax reforms bills rather. Now, they seek immediate restoration of power in the region. Now, they are Marjora, out-of-school children, and our core problems, exactly. This is coming from the Sultan. Now, our leaders have to do more. This is from the ACF. I think about 19 northern governors, they met I think on Monday, they had a meeting talking about the new tax reform bills, and according to them, they said the bill is neglecting the northern states and all that, and you can see pictures of some of the governors and, of course, the monarchs. Now, right above that, we have this one. I have FCTA begins clampdown on beggars and arrest 15. Just like we said last week, the infamous video of Minister of FCT, Wike, giving beggars, I think, about 5 days ultimatum, and well, that has been put into effect, and they have started arresting. They've arrested about 15 of them. Now, bandits kill 4 farmers in Sokoto. Right beside that, we have this one. Naseni Imose, I hope I got that correct, roll out made in Nigeria laptops and tablets.
Wow.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh.
That is what we are talking about.
I like it.
I like that. I like that. This is what we should, and the government should try and to encourage more of this, so that yes, we can at a point Naira can gain strength and go back to
Absolutely.
what it was.
So
before.
if in the House of Reps, in the red chamber, in the green chamber,
yes,
you have Nigerians using made in Nigerian,
even in schools.
In schools too.
I mean,
it will be so good.
It will be so good.
It will boost the nation's economy.
Exactly.
Kudos.
Now, below that, we have will restore electricity to northern states in 5 days. This is coming from the federal government. I saw that story also on the Daily Trust newspaper. Well, I hope that they will be able to do that, because I mean, today will make it yesterday was like 8 days. Today will make it the 9th day. I hope in 5 days' time, that should be around Saturday or Sunday. So we're hoping that electricity will be restored. Now, just below that, we have another story. It says Rodri, Bonmati are 2024 Ballon d'Or winners.
Yeah.
Congratulations to them. That's on page 38 of the Daily Trust. NAF airstrikes eliminate scores of terrorists in Borno.
Good one.
A good one to that. That's on page 7 of the Daily Trust. And lastly, police grill lawmaker over assault on Bolt driver. I would like to even get Dr. Adedayo's input on this, because that video has gone viral and a lot of people have criticized that video, and I must say it's
not the video people have criticized, but the lawmaker.
The lawmaker, yes,
yeah.
The lawmaker, and that act was, to me personally, shameful and regrettable. I mean, it shouldn't even come from a lawmaker. It shouldn't. But it gives you an insight to how the political elites, how they view the common man. Yeah. And it also tells you, I mean, next time when you go to the polling unit, you know what to do. But I think that's all we have right now, coming from the Daily Trust newspaper.
Well, I've got the Punch here. Major headline: no work, no pay dispute. Federal government invites unions as strike grounds varsities. SANU, NATSU leaders enforce strike across varsities. NANS asks federal government to resolve crisis. Let's see this one here above the masthead. I'm trying to figure it out now. Ground rent. Ground rent is a screaming headline. FCT issues Tinubu, Akume, ex-governors 2-week ultimatum. Wow. Also, federal government needs 19 trillion naira to complete 2,604 roads. That's coming from Umahi. Let's see what this one here is saying. North blackout. 19 governors meet and president deploys troops against vandals. The picture here shows participants at this very important meeting. Right below that, northern governors oppose Tinubu's planned tax reform. Also, students reject FSET's 10,000 naira fine for violent protest. Last but not least, Ghana eyes fuel imports from Dangote refinery. And that wraps it up for us on the front page of the Punch.
Now, before I move to the next one, I'd like to talk about the last headline you read out. Okay. Ghana eyes fuel imports from Dangote refinery. That's a big move for Dangote, and I hope, well, in as much as we are looking forward to Dangote relieving us at some point, but Ghana eyeing Dangote means that these guys recognize something. They've seen something in Dangote and they are willing to go after it. And
it's not just Ghana. Lots of other countries are buying into the Dangote field. So,
exactly. Yeah. Now let's move on to the Vanguard newspaper. It says here, withheld pay. SANU, NASU shut down varsities nationwide. I think today marks it day 2. that they started the nationwide strike. Yesterday they shut down university, and today, I mean, they are still continuing that. And I hope the federal government are able to meet. But this thing about no work, no pay thing, I feel it's a bit disturbing. How you want to meet fire for fire. These guys are going on strike, and you are saying if they go on strike, you will not pay them. I mean, well, let's move on. Okay, we have two writers to that story. Let me try and take the two of them. It says UNN and other varsities in Southeast to join strike today. Semester examinations on hold at BUK. 2.1 million students affected, of course. Now, we are disappointed at SANU NASU over strike. This is coming from who? The federal government, of course. Now, we have a picture here, and the caption says, IBEDC signs power purchase agreement. Well, congratulations to that. Now, beside that, we have Senate screens ministerial nominees today after clearance by DSS. Of course, last week there was a reshuffle, and of course, they would be screened, and hopefully, they will be approved by the Senate. Now, moving on, we have power failure. Federal government mulls establishment of state and regional grids.
Okay, that sounds good.
That sounds good. That's on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. We have this one, access code. Okay, we don't need that. Now, we have this one, blackout. Tinubu directs power minister, NSA, to restore electricity in the north. Just like we read earlier on, he said he would restore power in 5 days. Let's fingers crossed to that. And hashtag end bad governance protest, wake up call. This is coming from the northern governors. Quite surprising. Coming from a northern governor. And hashtag end bad governance protest, wake up call. That's on page 16 of the Vanguard newspaper. And I think that's all we have right now from the Vanguard newspaper. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll bring in our guest. Of course, we'll continue the program. Please stay tuned.
Do you know bad production can kill a great content idea?
Do you want to have a photo shoot, audio production, or do you need a professional voiceover artist?
Do you simply want unmatched cinematography, video production, or just event coverage, such as weddings, birthdays, or burials?
Or do you need a space for meetings or conferences? All these are possible with High Impact Studios. Don't bring down your creativity, let's help you take it high.
And out of this world with our state-of-the-art equipment and first-class studio space.
We give you the quality you deserve at the best rate.
For more details, call 0706 393 5694 or 0915 958 1881. High Impact Studios, the future.
Going to chart the path together. We are going to embark on this journey together, united. No one is too small to be creative. Inshallah, we will work together. And we pay attention, undivided attention to your education. We will be creative credit will be available. Education loan will be available. 4 years course will be 4 years course. No more strike. Your universities will have their autonomy to be.
Well, you just listened to President Bola Tinubu with his wife, the First Lady Remi Tinubu, standing right beside him. And he talked about a number of things too. But one of the things that was striking to me was that he said, we are on this journey together, no more strike, subsidized education, and all of that. Which one jumped out at you, Olumide? Or not? None?
None jumped at me. It's. I mean, looking at what he said and what is happening now,
Yeah.
they don't correlate so well. Maybe that was what he was planning to. I think this video should be probably during his campaign or before he before he assumed office. I'm sure it's not when he assumed office that this video was made. This video was actually when he was campaigning. These were all his promises, you know, when he was still vying for the presidency seat. And well, he's in the seat right now.
What this means is it's easier said than done.
Exactly.
So you have these grand ideas, thinking when you come on board, it's just going to be a given. But like you said, what he said is not exactly what's playing out right now.
And that's why you have to be very careful, both as a political person contesting for any position. You have to be very careful what the promises you make.
Yeah.
And as the electorate, the voters, you also have to be careful what you listen to and what you believe. When political elites come and tell you, they're going to do this, they're going to eradicate poverty in 2 years, they're going to do this. I mean, so a lot of promises were actually made by President Tinubu. I remember he said that people will start to receive some form of stipends as a citizen of Nigeria. He said so many things, but I mean, how many of them have actually been effected? So one has to be very careful, you know, when listening to the political elite.
You know, he talked about there no being no strike, but right now there is a strike in the country.
Exactly.
NASU, SANU, they're on strike, you know, and it's not the first time an organization is going on strike. It's been one strike after the other since this administration came on board. So I'm thinking if President Tinubu could go back to some of the campaign promises he made and just watch himself talk and then rate himself, it probably would do him some good.
You know, what is even quite amusing is that it's the same administration.
Yeah.
The same APC administration. You were part of the people who people believed helped the former president get to the position of the president. I mean, that was how he came into APC and all that. That was how the APC was like a merger of two parties that came together to defeat the PDP.
Actually, more than two.
More than two, yes. You're correct. It's more than two. They came together because they wanted to defeat the PDP, and you know, President Buhari was able to become president. And so you've been in this political scene atmosphere for a very long time, and people have said that, oh, he's going to replicate what happened in Lagos and the whole of Nigeria. So I think that was what people believed, that okay, if he can actually do this in Lagos alone, he can do more of that. And I think maybe that was what happened. He thought that okay, I could replicate every other thing, but you know, it all boils down to, did he actually have the blueprint? Did he actually have a master plan? Did he actually study the whole government before coming into power, before making promises, free education and all that? I mean, free education, we have student loan. That's the opposite of free education.
You know, you talked about something that I want us to push a little bit further. You said people actually thought he was going to replicate on a national scale what he had done in Lagos.
That's what people said. That was the selling point.
Yeah.
People said that, oh, he's a political juggernaut. He can actually do more. He has been in this thing. This was his dream. This was what he has been planning for. This is what he's been destined to do. You know, that was what brought that that slogan, Emilio Con. It is my turn. I have waited for it. I have waited so long. It is my turn to become president.
You know, this same thing was what happened with former President Muhammadu Buhari. People pegged him as Mr. Integrity because of what he did with the late Iti Agbon.
Yes.
When they were in the military.
Yes.
So people felt, okay, he will come and be a very good president. But that wasn't really what happened. So my question now is it the people or the institution that is faulty?
Oftentimes, a lot of people have said that the way this administration is built around corruption. So even it's almost like it corrupts the people.
Yeah.
It has. I remember Dr. Ruben Abati said when he was still in Aso Rock, there was some kind of evil spirit, according to him.
He said it was a cursed place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Evil spirits were around that place. The place is cursed. That, you know, once you are there, it's like you are being shut out from the world. You don't know what's happening outside there. And well, you can't really blame the president. He gets updates, and it's what people tell him that he might probably believe. If they say, oh, everything is okay.
So would you now support former President Obasanjo, who says democracy is not working for Nigeria and Africa, that there should be an Afro kind of democracy that might work?
I think democracy works for Nigeria. It's just the people are not obeying democracy. That's the thing. Democracy can actually work, but are we actually obeying? Is it the government of the people, by the people, and for the people? Is it the government for the people? That's the thing. Are we actually obeying democracy?
Yeah.
Can we actually say, okay, I want to go and vote, and my vote will count?
Yeah.
So,
take, for example, the House of Reps member who is under fire right now.
exactly.
One of the statements he made to the cab driver that brought this to light was that, quote, "I can make you disappear."
That is quite a disturbing statement that must be investigated. Because for him to have said that and just saying it, probably he had seen it happen somewhere, or he believes he can actually get away with that. He can actually make when you say make someone disappear, what are you insinuating?
That's not a democratic statement, I can tell you that.
Exactly. So what are you saying? Are you saying you lock him up, or you do worse? It means a whole lot to say you will make sure. And he went on to say, I call the Inspector General of, I think that's also a slap on the Inspector General of Police. Say, call the Inspector General of Police, tell him it is me. I mean, why? Yeah,
but the police spokesperson has already talked that this particular matter is under investigation.
I'm watching closely. Well, let's welcome Dr. Adedayo Kayode. He is a political technocrat. Welcome, social-political technocrat. I beg your pardon. Social-political technocrat. Welcome, Dr. Adedayo Kayode. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning. How are you? Nice being on your platform this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so let's jump on what happened. The recent video of the senator who actually made threats to a cab driver, saying that he can make him disappear, even going as further to tell him to record me. I am so person. Call the IG. This, that. First of all, what came to your mind when you saw this video?
What came to my mind was that here is a country that I have always been referring to as a jungle and a banana republic. A jungle and a banana republic.
Please explain that.
Where Obesian thoughts are still operating. And when you have that, it is to say that anything goes without any form of repercussion, either negative or positive. When you do good things, nobody recognizes it. When you do negative things that are not in consonance with the rules of the land, there are no repercussions. What do I mean? Remember the issue of that young senator there, as regards sexual abuse.
Yes.
You remember?
The one from Adamawa.
Elisha.
What has happened to him?
Nothing.
Nothing. very bad scenario. Remember also the good deeds of former INEC chairman that was in charge of Abiola's election that just died. What's his name?
Nwosu.
Nwosu. Good deed. Was he recognized before his death? Even when Peter Obi recognized him, what happened? Nothing. People were castigating Peter Obi. I'm not a supporter of Peter Obi. I hope you know that. But on that singular act, was Peter Obi wrong? Or the federal government?
But are you mixing things?
As refused to recognize them.
Doctor, are you mixing things
Listen
up?
to this.
No, you're mixing things up. I think it was.
I'm not mixing.
It was general.
Sorry, I am not mixing. I said initially.
It was General Gowon.
Banana Republic.
It was General Gowon that Peter Obi applauded.
Yes.
And then the obedience criticized him. That's what I was trying to say. I'm not talking about your summation generally.
Okay, right. Now,
Yeah.
Nwosu that died.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. Nwosu that died. Has it been recognized? Without Nwosu, will there have been an Abiola? Will there have been a June 12th? Will there have been a sustainable democracy that we have been experiencing now in the past 25 years? So why will somebody, a representative who is being regarded as honorable, not slap somebody and say, go and report me to the IG of police? So these are issues that I have put together to refer to our country as a jungle and a banana republic.
Well, let's move on. I personally wouldn't refer to my country as a jungle, really. I'm not living in a jungle. But let me quickly draw
But that is exactly what is happening here.
let me draw your attention.
That's exactly what is happening here.
Doctor, let me quickly draw your attention to this.
You listen to this. Please, let me quickly give you this.
Okay.
Yes, I can refer to Nigeria as a jungle, but that does not mean I am not a passionate Nigerian. I am one of those that have been celebrating Nigerian independence for the past 9 years on my own personal bills.
Okay.
Okay? But that does not mean the truth should not be told.
Yes, and
We should
also,
shy away from saying the truth.
yes, we should not shy away from saying the truth. And also, it is important we know that everybody has a right to their own opinion. And I am saying that Nigeria, my country, is not a jungle. Now, let's move on to this particular story on the front page of the Daily Trust. It's the major headline there, and it says, Northern governors, monarchs reject tax reforms bill. But I'd like for you to quickly take a look at this rider. We have 3 riders, but the most important one here that jumps out at me is Al-Majurai, out-of-school children are core problems. That's coming from the Sultan of Sokoto. You remember how the current Sanusi,
Yes.
the current Emir of Kano, how he made this particular comment about the Al-Majurai and how that particular form of custom should be eradicated, and he was lambasted. What's your take on this particular issue right now?
Yes. When I read that news, my mind went straight to the former president of this country, GEJ, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan.
Yes.
All right? He was trying then to eradicate the feudalistic character of the North. But what happened? They gagged up against him. The same thing in Sanusi. It was being lambasted. Now, the chicken have come up to roost.
Yes.
And it's not affecting them. Where do they go from here? Where do they go from here? Here is a region whereby the elites there have been over the years traumatizing their citizens by not giving them good education, rather telling them or making them to be beggars, enjoying the rankadede that they always give to them every morning. Now, the problems of that Almajerism is now festering and is now spilled to their face. Now the question is, should they be complaining or try and look for solutions that will solve this problem?
All right.
It not belongs to them. So they have to put their heads together to see how they can resolve the problem as early as immediate.
All right. If I may ask, and if you will, can you provide some solutions to out-of-school children and this majorized system? What lasting solution can be preferred?
The only solution is this. When you want a country to grow, educate the children.
Yeah.
But when you don't want, when you want the other side of it, the flip side, don't educate them. Then you will not know that education is essential to economic development, economic and social development.
You know, you talked earlier on about what's happening in the North. There seemed to be a merger between the monarchies, what's it called now? The monarchy, beg your pardon, and the governors, right, in the North. And right now, there's been a crisis. Over 8 days in the North, no power. Total blackout. So federal government is saying we'll restore electricity to northern states in 5 days. But this is what's been the chatter on social media. What has happened to the North? The Northerners held sway when it comes to ruling Nigeria for over 45 years. Correct me if I'm wrong, Doctor. So why is that region still...
You are very right.
Why is it still so underdeveloped? What's your take on this matter?
Yes. It is not only the North that is underdeveloped.
Okay.
It is the whole country that is underdeveloped. Underdeveloped in terms of the quantum of resources that is available to us vis-a-vis the kind of development we have been seeing since post-independence. Now, let us now be specific about the North. You see, I thought about one of my articles written, I think about 2 years ago now. Connivance of the leader, a bewildered nation, a bewildered nation. The connivance of the leadership against its people. If you can Google that article, then you will know what I'm talking about. In the North, you have, like we just said, a lot of uneducated people. And at the same time, you have a lot of mineral resources in the North. So the issue is this. They are now making that place to be unbearable for the citizens, so that they will prefer to be staying in the IDP camps. For those that are exploiting their resources there to have a free day. And listen to this. When you're talking about insecurity in the north, it is not natural insecurity. The insecurity we are seeing in the north is nothing other than man-made. And I will explain. I will explain. Look at the aircraft that was caught sometimes ago, delivering water, food, petrol, and all that into the desert. Who owns the aircraft? Can you and I afford to do that? That is one. Two, why are the people at the helm of affairs, why did they not arrest that particular aircraft? Okay? Again, we have also heard in the news, we have read in the news how some bandits are being honored through turbaning, and they were sitting down. Well, you also have some security chiefs sitting down with them, and they were never arrested. So what are you talking about? Whatever is happening in the north and generally in Nigeria as regards insecurity, suffering of the people is nothing other than the connivance of the leadership against the people.
All right, so Dr. Adedayo Kayode, let me shift your focus to what's happening all across the universities without salary. This is coming from the Vanguard newspaper. SANU, NASU shut down varsities nationwide. This is as a result of non-payment of salaries for non-teaching staff. This is something that has been going on for decades, if I may say, or more than that. Every year, it's as if every year we always have this strike thing, and there seems to be no solution. Now, in as much as the Minister of Education has been replaced with another person, what are your hopes? What is the lasting solution to this back and forth between ASU, NASU, SANU, and the federal government?
If I'm talking about Banana Republic and whatever now, I don't know again, because here is a country that we have the rule of law. Here is a country that we have rules of engagement. Here is a country that we have judgments being given out from the judiciary. But the question is, how many of these things are being respected? And when they are not respected, what have we been doing? We have seen situations whereby this kind of a thing happened, and ASU was being divided by the government. We experienced this during the last prolonged ASU strike, whereby another union was now being formed to rival ASU. Okay? So, what I'm saying is this. There had been agreements over the years. I think as far back as 2009. 2009. And government had been reneging in following the so-called agreement till today. And that is what is still happening. But the question is, what have the people done as regards this? The people, in terms of this particular problem, is not affecting ASU, SASU, NASU, and all that alone, but also affecting the students. Affecting the students. And as it's affecting the students, it's also affecting the parents. So, have we been able to come together to resolve this issue? Have we been able to come together and resolve this issue? No. And the government have been seeing people, ASU and others, inclusive of NLC, as a dog that can bark but can never bite.
All right.
What can we say? Yes, I will go back to my quote. I will go back to my quote. A people that have refused to emancipate itself from the claws of the Machiavellian heirs and wicked leaders will be continually emancipated. So not when the people decide to come up themselves and resolve this issue with the government, and then let their leaders understand that yes, they can bite. Look at what is happening in America now. America's election. Look at the issues that people are following. Do we have such issues here? No. It is always the Bokomiko Sebe.
Can you explain
I was
that?
telling somebody yesterday.
What does that mean, doctor?
I was explaining to people yesterday, and the person was saying, I have never voted. Doctor, if you want me to vote, this is and that. Go and bring a bag of rice. Educated fellow. And I say, how long will it take you to fill in that bag of rice? This is 4 years that you will now be feeling the pains. It's a big issue. Even the press that is supposed to be the fifth whatever here.
It's called the fourth estate of the realm, actually. But you know, we have just 1 minute. We have, doctor, we have, can you please hold on? Dr. Kayode, I would have asked one more question, but we are out of time. You talked about, you talked earlier on about the US and how their elections is well advanced.
Yes.
Remember that the U.S. is over 200 years when it comes to democracy. Nigeria is not even up to 100. But that's why we get to call it RAPS today.
How about Ghana? How about Ghana?
Thank you, Dr. Kayode. As usual, you've been fantastic. You know, Olumide, earlier on we talked about how President Tinubu made promises that he's not fulfilled yet. And I will say if he goes back to the promises he's made and he kind of look at what he said in the past, it probably will make him rethink and do better. Yeah. On that note, Doctor, we have wrapped it up with you and we appreciate you. Dr. Adedayo Kayode is a sociopolitical technocrat, and it's always a pleasure to have him join us. I don't know if you have more to say before we wrap this up.
No, Doctor has really expatiated and made his thoughts known, and of course, like you said earlier on, everybody has a right an opinion to an opinion, basically, and so he has made that known. But well, we'll always.
Yes, it's my pleasure being with this morning. Thanks for having me. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
You too. But we would always be positive in everything. We would always keep your fingers crossed. I mean, it's just, is it a year and a half into this administration? So they still have about 2 to 3.5, 3 years or thereabouts, or less than 3 years to go. So let's give them that benefit of doubt and see what might happen. Maybe before the year rounds out or till next year, they might get it right. You know, just like we read earlier on in our banters, sometimes you might fail and learn from that failure. So on this note, we would end the newspaper review, but we still have a whole lot more coming up shortly after the break, so please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Foment, foment, foment.
As a child, what is most important to you is love, warmth, acceptance, and security. But as you grow, there is a paradigm shift in the way you approach life. The interest you lose in some things, you peak in other things. Sometimes, the road is smooth. Other times, it is rough. Every step of the way comes with a new hurdle to scale. You win some, you lose some. You laugh hard, you cry hard, but at the end, you look back with a fulfilling smile and say, what a ride. High Impact Television equips you with what you need every step of the way.
Welcome back. It is the Breakfast Cafe if you're just tuning in, and this is Views from the Net. We threw out a question earlier on, and of course we get your opinion. You share your thoughts with us. You can also join the conversation by calling our phone line and give your own thought. The question today is, how long should a lady wait before asking a man money in a new relationship? This is out of my forte, so let me ask Vivian.
I don't have an answer right now. Let's find out what the people are saying.
Dodge that bullet.
Yeah.
Now this one is coming from Melody. Says, putting aside the societal and the internet's opinion, I believe there shouldn't be any specific time frame. It depends on both parties. How expressive is the lady and how generous is the man in question? Melody from Benin. So he's generous if he gives, and if he doesn't give, he's what? He's stingy. I reserve my comment.
Well, before I talk about a particular thing that's bugging me about this question, the question, for example, for starters, is, I don't know, why are we basing this on the number of days or months or years you've been with a man before you can ask for money? We're going to talk about that later on, but let me quickly talk about this. When it comes to asking for money in a new relationship, it's all about comfort and communication. There isn't a set time frame. It's more about building trust and understanding each other's boundaries. As for me, I believe openness and respect are key in any relationship. Susie from Lagos.
Quite interesting. This is Coyote from Egbeda. A lady may want to assess her emotional readiness before asking for financial support. Now, if she feels vulnerable or uncertain about the relationship, it might be wise to wait until she feels more secure. Emotional stability can influence how comfortable she is in discussing sensitive topics like money, and waiting for the right moment can prevent potential conflict. This is Coyote from Egbeda.
Coyote sounds like a very wise man. Really, you must read the times. You must understand the person you are involved with. This, like he said, money is a very sensitive issue in any kind of relationship. This one says, for me, it is relative. A lady should apply emotional intelligence in the situation, or basically consider the following factors like size of his pocket, current condition, honesty of request. Now, a lady can ask after putting all these into consideration, meaning that a certain level of time would have already been committed to the relationship. Dave from Port Harcourt. Very wise, Dave. Thank you.
Well, this next one says, in a new relationship, discussing long-term financial goals can be a good starting point. Now, instead of directly asking for money, a lady might first engage in conversations about savings, investment, and future plans. This approach can lead to a natural discussion about financial support, making it easier to address the topic when the time feels right. This is John from Abuja. I think I like what John has basically said. If you discuss certain things, you'll be able to understand the kind of person he is. He might be prudent for one, and he might... Now, this is my own opinion, and just my own opinion. I believe that as if you're in a relationship and you love that person, you want to see that person do well. Now, in as much as you want to see that person do well, you would want to also make sure that that person does not lack in certain areas. And the little you can do or provide for, you do it without even asking. You know that, okay, fine, she doesn't have much to transport her from maybe from house to the office and back home. You could put her on some sort of weekly allowance, and it's not compulsory. And if you do it, it's you just being generous. It doesn't mean that if you don't do it, it makes you a bad person. Yeah. It's just out of generosity that you want to do that and you're just trying to make her life more comfortable. Not because you want her to like you more by giving her money. So if you want to do it, if it feels like if you feel like doing it, you can do it. And for men, real men don't wait till the woman asks. They just do it.
I wish it was so. The man shouldn't wait for the woman to ask. But you know, this pendulum swings both ways. The woman too, if she notices that the man is not doing too well, could help, right?
I don't want to go into that topic.
I know what you're going to say, so let's not even go there, like you said. Now, this one says relationships often thrive on reciprocity. A lady might observe how her partner handles financial matters with others before making a request. If she notices that he is generous and supportive with friends or family, it may indicate that he will be open to helping her as well. This perspective emphasizes the importance of mutual support and understanding in building a healthy relationship. This is Bolaji from Yabatek. Good one, Bolaji.
Now, this one says the dynamics of relationship can greatly influence the timing of financial discussion. Now, if the relationship is characterized by equality, okay, let me think that again. Now, the dynamics of relationship can greatly influence the timing of financial discussion. Now, if the relationship is characterized by equality and shared by decision making, a lady might feel more comfortable asking for money. Conversely, if there is a power imbalance, she may choose to wait until the relationship feels more balanced before making such request. This is Dre from Lagos. What do you mean by power imbalance? I mean, is that a tussle for supremacy or something?
It talks about the dynamics of a relationship and equality. For example, I know Dr. Adedayo Kayode always likes to use the U.S. as an example. So, for example, in the U.S., there is this thing called feminism that's very strong. Yeah, the women feel they are equal to the man.
Yeah, 50-50.
50-50. So I think that's the kind of power dynamics he's talking about.
Well, like I said, it depends. Sometimes, in some relationship, a woman might not ask you for anything. But the day she asks, that means
she needs it.
She really needs it. And I always pray I find myself in a situation whereby the first time she asks, I have.
Fantastic.
I will not disappoint.
So it's always safer for the lady not to just go headlong, asking for money just when you begin a relationship. Like you said, she doesn't always ask. So when she asks, the man is moved to want to provide.
I mean, you're not running an orphanage, so...
Oh, gosh. But you are in a relationship. But you know this thing about love, they say love gives. Love, it gives. Well, this one here says a lady should consider her partner's financial situation before asking for money. If he is struggling financially or has significant obligations, it may not be the right time to make a request. Understanding each other's financial circumstances can help both parties navigate the topic more sensitively and avoid putting undue pressure on one another. Miriam from Kwara. Awesome, Miriam.
Now, this one says such can be crucial when discussing money. A lady might choose to wait for a moment when both partners are relaxed and open to conversation. Such as during a casual outing or a quiet evening together. Context matters, and finding the right moments can make it easier to bring up financial support without causing discomfort. This is Cynthia from Lagos. But me, personally, I feel matters like money and the rest, well, it depends on why you went into that relationship, for instance. If you're going to a relationship because you feel this guy is going to be some sort of your ATM, well, no problem. And if the guy is not concerned about that and he gives and gives, and some people are just naturally generous. I remember this guy in my school, in university that time. If this guy is going to visit his girlfriend, he buys food, takeaway for not just the girlfriend, but all our roommates. And so when he's coming, when he's approaching the hostel, all the girls are shouting. I don't want to mention his name. They are shouting his name, and he's carrying like 5 packs. Well, that's his own way of, showing that he actually likes the girl. So some people are comfortable with that, some people are not. Some people just feel that, why should she be asking me for money?
Yeah.
We're not running an orphanage. I'm not her. She has a dad, she has a mom. She can go do that and all that. So it depends on...
So what if she doesn't have a dad and a mom?
Well, you have to also study the person you are going into a relationship with.
You have to study the person. Also, you shouldn't go into a relationship with the mindset of just going to get money. In your words, you shouldn't look at the man as an ATM.
As an ATM. Or a solution to poverty.
Absolutely. Well, this one says, instead of directly asking for money, a lady could explore alternative ways to address her financial needs. This might include discussing shared expenses, finding ways to save together, or seeking advice on budgeting. By framing the conversation around collaboration rather than a direct request for money, she can foster a more supportive dialogue. Jane from Unilag. This is a little bit technical, but yeah, why not?
There's this meme I've been seeing these days about when guys text their babe or text any girl, it's always billing. How are you doing? Not fine. It calls billing. What's happening today? I'm not feeling too well. Billing comes next. But let's take this next one. It says, the producer says, are you eating? That's the normal one. Now, this next one says, some women may prioritize personal growth and independence, viewing financial requests as a challenge to their autonomy. In this case, they might prefer to establish their financial stability before considering asking for help. This perspective emphasizes self-reliance and the importance of being able to stand on one's 2 feet before seeking assistance. Now, this is Femi from Lagos.
Oh.
I like what Femi said. Some ladies, they want, some ladies will feel that, okay, I'm not ready for this kind of relationship because I don't even have that financial stability. I want to be financially stable before I go into a relationship.
But is that a wise thing?
Well, some people don't want to, quote unquote, experience see finish.
Right.
Over familiarity and all that. So you might, but like I said, a real man does not wait for a woman to ask.
But my grouse is, why base a relationship on financial stability, really? But this one here says, rushing into financial discussions can put undue pressure on the relationship. Ensure you've built a foundation of trust and understanding before exploring financial support. Taiwo from Wishing. I agree with you, Taiwo, completely.
Now this one says, a woman asking for money is not a crime. More so, if a man loves you, you don't need to ask him for money. We approach a lady, and between days of approach or asking out, all the problems of this world belongs to her, and she is on her toes of demanding. Obviously, it does not command respect to such woman or lady. We see her as a hungry lady, but believe me, as a responsible man, without you asking, men are trained to be givers, so naturally we give to whom we love without asking. Ayomide for me, but I like the last one. Naturally we give to whom we love without asking.
Yeah.
So that sums it up.
It's very true, but Ayomide also talked about respect. It's true. For some women, when they when they are so pressed and they need to ask a man for money, it kind of diminishes their self-esteem for some women. But for some, they see it as, like you said, is his responsibility. But I think that's a wrong premise.
It's a wrong premise. I don't like making comparison. That's why, like you said, in the US, it's a different mindset. It's a different feminism that they believe in 50-50. That's why over there, when they go on dates, it's 50-50. Everything.
But and I'm correcting myself. It's not in all cases.
It's not in all cases.
In the US, you still have cases where the woman is solely dependent on the man.
Yes, we do. Do you understand? So it depends on what works for you. Like I said, before going to a relationship, you should know all these things. You should even know if this lady is going to be billing you.
Why are you calling it billing?
It's billing.
Oh gosh, it's not billing.
How are you doing? I'm hungry. That's billing now.
Yeah, but you asked her how she's doing.
Yes, and she says she's hungry.
Yes.
That's not an answer now.
That's an answer.
Okay, I'm hungry is an answer.
Yeah, so how are you doing? And if she's hungry, what would you have her say?
How are you doing? I'm doing well. Although I've not had breakfast.
Okay.
That's a better approach.
Semantics is what you're talking about.
Yes.
Here. Oh, okay.
I'm doing okay, just a bit, just slightly hungry because I've not had breakfast. Do you understand? Now, it depends on the man. The man can figure out that, oh, now, the man could also be tactful and say, oh, please eat for me. Oh. Do you understand? Please eat for me. I don't want you looking, or I don't want you, growing leaner. I don't want you losing weight. Please try and get something to eat. And she'd be like, I don't have anything to eat. She's throwing it back at you.
Yeah, so she's asking, but she doesn't want to come straight out to say, give me money.
Yeah, I don't know what to eat.
So you, the man, now, it behoves on you to get the message and say, okay, let me send you something.
No, you don't have to necessarily say that. You say, so what would you like to have?
Okay.
Now, you are throwing it back at her to know what she's going to throw back at you, to know if you can actually afford it. Now, if she says she wants to have something that you can afford, you'll be like, okay, do you mind me? Now, you can also be very tactful. Instead of saying, now, she might not be hungry. I just need money from you. So if she says, oh, I want to have so, okay, I'll have it delivered to you. And you order for it and deliver it. That's it.
You don't send her money.
You don't send her money. But you don't need to go to that length. You can just send her the money, and whatever she does with the money, it's her own problem.
It sounds so complicated, I'm telling you. But this one here says, well, I don't really know because I'm not the type to ask. I would rather, let's see now, I'd rather wait till he wants to give. But some says after 6 months or less. This is Temiloluwa from Onipano. So she gave a specific time. She said some people say that after 6 months or less.
After 6 months, if a guy has not given you money or has not done anything, man, that's quite disturbing. Yeah. But on the flip side, if a guy meets a girl that doesn't ask, man, it's like it's Christmas.
Yeah.
It's Christmas. That's a wife material.
Because she doesn't ask.
She doesn't ask.
So it's going to be a mistake if you say a woman is a wife material because she doesn't ask.
Yeah.
You might be in for a shocker when she comes into the house. But the thing is, if she doesn't ask and you don't give in 6 months, it's not a crime. Also, if she's okay, if she's financially stable and you are financially stable, it's fine.
There's beauty in that.
But in a relationship, there must be giving from both sides, really.
It should, but again, giving could be your time. It could be so many things.
Attention.
Yes. It doesn't really mean money.
Material
and all that. I know ladies like gifts, so you can buy her gifts without even her asking. You could. Now, this one is if you want to, like I said earlier, you could put her on some weekly or monthly stipends or allowance if you want to.
If you're able to.
If you're able to. Probably, for instance, maybe she's still in school, you could do that. Or even fund her education if you are sure that she's going to marry you. Because we've seen cases whereby it goes south. Yeah. But this is this is as much as we can take for now. But we'll go on a short break. And when we come back, we'll continue with the program. Please stay tuned.
As a child, what is most important to you is love, warmth, acceptance, and security. But as you grow, there is a paradigm shift in the way you approach life. The interest you lose in some things, you peak in other things. Sometimes, the road is smooth. Other times, it is rough. every step of the way comes with a new hurdle to scale. You win some, you lose some. You laugh hard, you cry hard, but at the end, you look back with a fulfilling smile and say, what a ride. High Impact Television equips you with what you need every step of the way.
All right, now is the Breakfast Cafe right here on High Impact TV. My name is Vivian Oguchen. Right opposite me is Olumide Shokoya. Now, this segment is where we get to take a look at topical issues. And what we're discussing today is the role of media in conflict management. In a short while, I'll be introducing our guest to you, Adeniyi Ifetayo. He is a media analyst. But meantime, a quick introduction. The media plays a crucial role in conflict management by serving as a platform for information dissemination, promoting transparency and fostering dialogue. Now, by reporting on conflicts, the media can raise awareness of underlying issues, highlight human rights violations, and amplifying the voices of marginalized communities. Now, this coverage can mobilize public opinion and encourage policymakers to address the root causes of conflict. Moreover, media can facilitate communication between conflicting parties, allowing for negotiation and understanding, which are essential for peaceful resolution. In addition to information dissemination, the media also shapes perceptions and narratives surrounding conflicts. Now, by framing issues in particular ways, the media can influence how the public and stakeholders perceive the conflict and its participants. Responsible reporting can promote peace by emphasizing common ground and encouraging empathy. This is key. Now, while sensationalists or biased coverage can exacerbate tensions, so you veer off that. Thus, the media's role in conflict management is multifaceted. It can either contribute to escalation or help pave the way for resolution, depending on how it engages with the narratives it presents. You know, Olumide, you know how some newspaper headlines comes out sensational. They just want to get your attention. For example, they know a popular figure like Olusegun Obasanjo. Once you say Obasanjo in the media, on the front page of a paper, people feel, and you say Obasanjo is dead. You know where people will just begin, who they think it is. They think it's former President Obasanjo.
Yes.
So it behooves the media to be very clear when it comes to issues like this, right?
Yeah, definitely. Let's welcome our guest. He is Adeniyi Ifetayo. He is a media analyst. So refreshing to have you on the program this morning.
Yeah, good morning. It's my pleasure to be here from the FCT.
Oh, wow.
You're back in the FCT.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right.
Good morning.
Good morning. Now, so let's kick off. Now, we're talking about this media sensationalism. The topic actually is the role of the media in conflict management. Now, just like Vivian rightly said, sometimes in the spur of the moment, the media sometimes will want to make use of some bogus words just to attract traffic. Now, so my first question is, how can media outlets, how can they balance the need for timely reporting with the responsibility to avoid sensationalism that may exacerbate tensions in conflict situations?
Yeah, thank you. You know, sometimes, like they said, that when a purpose of a thing is not known, an abuse is inevitable, or especially when someone have ulterior motive, so he might decide to call black white or call white black. You know, the role of the media in conflict management is so important and crucial, and it can influence to be both positive and negative, and it depends on the narrative that the media want to play. But as a media, whom the public believe that you are very neutral when it comes to a matter of conflict and all of that, you should discharge your duty in that line as well, in information dissemination, providing accurate information that's very timely so that the public can be aware or make an informed decision when it comes to conflict. And also, you can give them a background, what led to what is happening, so that they both have understanding. And of course, not just giving them a background, that, you know, the positive, or when it comes to resolution, what are the things that may play out. So just lay it before the public so that they can know the side of the coin, even if they want to take a side or they want to make an input.
Absolutely, I like it. Now, in what ways would you say different types of media, traditional versus digital, impact the narratives surrounding conflicts, and how does this influence public understanding and response?
Yes, conventional media and digital media, they both have their advantages and disadvantages. Now everybody wants to be the first to break the news, and some, they don't want to do a background check, they don't want to, you know, ask questions and all of that. And some, if they have feelings, or they have maybe their godfather or somebody, or my town man, you know, who is involved, you understand. So they don't want to go above board. And sometimes when a media is not being independent, when it comes to their reportage, that the Oga at the top dictates what goes on, be it newspaper or electronics, whatever. But the most important thing is that anything you are putting out there, as a media practitioner, as a journalist, or operating in the broadcasting service, whatever it is, make sure it's fair, make sure it's balanced, make sure, you know, you bring out the whole issue for people to decide. Don't influence. Yes, as a media practitioner, we have some kind of influence, you know, over the masses, because they believe that whatever you say, just like I listened to you before I came on, when you said that some people with bogus headline, maybe someone else is bearing Obasanjo, and they now come with the headline and say Obasanjo is dead or something. And by the time maybe you bought the newspaper, you are reading, you now discover that, oh, it was not the Obasanjo, the ex-president they are talking about. We don't need all those sensationalism. We don't need all that. So let's call a spade a spade. Yes, you want to gain traction. Yes, you want to gain traffic. Yes, some people, they make money off their social media, whatever. But because of the advent of heating up the crisis or the politics or the conflict that is ongoing, we have a critical role to play to make sure there's a lasting solution. But if you are going with sensationalism or being biased, you are just adding insult to injury.
Yeah.
All right. Now, one of the problems of reporting news or reporting information that I think people take for granted is fact-checking. Now, I know that, yes, media houses, journalists, and the rest of them, they have their sources. And sometimes these sources could be wrong. So how can you ensure, how can you fact-check a certain information to ensure the authenticity of that information?
You know, as a media practitioner, one of the things you must rely heavily upon is contact. Yeah, one of my mentors say your contact or your network is your net worth. You must have this contact that you can easily act, and of course, for you to do a kind of fact checking or just to be true, sometimes your source will be wrong, which of course has happened to me before. Make sure that what you are doing, you are giving objective reporting, you are doing a balanced coverage, you avoid sensationalism, and sometimes you collaborate with conflict resolution experts. You cannot be expert in all the field. You know, those people who are professional, who are scholar in this area, seek their opinion, you know, seek their input in the issue that is on ground, so that you can provide a balanced coverage. And of course, I liked peaceful initiative and success story. Oh, this thing has happened in this town before, it has happened in this country before. These are the routes, you know, these are the route they went through before they come to a lasting resolution. Make some samples. So even if your your source or your sources gave you a wrong impression or a false story and all of that, by going through all those things, like just like out of 5, 1 is wrong at least. I'm sure, and when you are wrong, please go back and say, oh, we said this, it was wrong, we discovered that it was not what it is as at the time we are filing our report. And it's very easy to apologize. Like you said, government does not apologize. But as a media practitioner, we need to apologize when we are wrong.
Very well said. Now, for example, you have the issue of, what's it called now? Sit at home in the East. There's IPOB, and then there's government, right? So this is my question. How can the media effectively represent diverse perspectives within a conflict, without reinforcing existing biases or marginalizing certain groups of people? So, for example, in the East, you have IPOB, you have Sit at Home, you have people who are sympathetic to IPOB, and people who are not, who feel aggrieved when they are made to sit at home when they're supposed to be in the market selling to make profit. How would you report a situation like that?
First and foremost, you have to lay down the pros and the cons. Like, for example, if we are to sit at home, these are the things that will be losing. In fact, will be left behind other states, see the nearby state, or for example, Southwest or South, for example, the economy activity, we are complaining there's no job. Lay all the advantages and disadvantages before the people, and now come to the government as well. What are the people agitating for? Like, for example, people who are pro IPOB, that, yes, we want to have our own state. Of course, you can't have a state within a state, Then also tell them it has happened in Niger, in South Sudan, when they, want to start on their own. Look at the processes they went through. You can lay it before them. So it will be very obvious when they look at it. Some people, they are very emotional when it comes to they just hear one side, they don't know what is happening on the other side. We want to have our say, we want to have our currency, we want to do this and all of that. But by the time, as a media practitioner or as a media, you lay everything, look at the advantages of sitting down at home. It's just like people are moving forward and we are progressing. Investment will not come. Even those who have investment, they are not guarantee of their safety of their investment. They will need to move up. You can do a statistics. In this thing happen, how many companies are shut down, how many people have lost their job, how many factories that have relocated to a nearby state or other region just because there was no peaceful coexistence in that state. So those are the things that we need to do. We need to dig more, look at the statistics, and by the time you play it before then, they will be able to make an informed decision.
All right, thank you very much. Now, look, using the EndSARS saga that happened 2020 as a case study, what strategies can journalists employ to ensure that their reporting contributes to conflict resolution rather than perpetuating violence or misinformation?
First and foremost, just like I said, for every reportage, every coverage, you need to be neutral.
Yeah.
You understand? You don't need to, because of, yes, people are fighting for their rights or this one, that one. You need to be neutral. I watched a clip where a woman was asking a question. It was a different forum, asking a question about EndSARS, about Mohbad and all of that. Like, look, there are some things that government are doing that, if they should put everything out there, it will jeopardize whatever they are doing. I remember one of the things they asked Donald Trump while he was president, when he was contesting the last time, was it 2016, 2018, contesting for presidency. They asked him, what are your plans for foreign policy? He said, when I begin to tell you that America, they say they are sending 3,000 soldiers, you've already exposed yourself. So the enemy too will know that you are sending 3,000 soldiers, maybe they prepare 5,000 soldiers. So in government sometimes, it's not all the information are released, but at that, as a journalist, whoever that is in charge, give both sides maximum coverage or balanced coverage. But it's just that sometimes journalists too, we need to pay our bills, we need to pay for fuel, we need to do this. And sometimes whoever paid the most might dictate the narrative or have more airtime, as it were, or own more or most of the newspaper pages. And that's why we have someone in-house program where you can discuss extensively about it, look at the side of NSAS protests, what are the agitation, talk about the bad side of it, because some people capitalize on it to vandalize property, destroy, stole away, cut away some things from some nearby stores and all of that. You condemn that, and also you talk to the side of the government, at least in your own little way. Just make sure you give both a balanced report. Even some might even pay, to have their say in the media space. But regardless, a media practitioner or media house should have an in-house program or a column or a page, if it is to be a newspaper, to say, okay, let's look at the pros and the cons of this thing so that we can avoid the occurrence of NSAS in the nearest future.
That's a very good answer. Now, let me draw your attention back to what happened years ago in Rwanda, where there was a genocide. Millions were killed because of the clash between the Tutsis and the Hutus. This began just because of a radio broadcast. Someone went on radio and started calling a particular ethnic group cockroaches. And before you knew it, he stirred up hatred. So let's flip this coin now. How does the portrayal of victims and perpetrators in media narratives shape societal attitudes towards reconciliation and accountability in post-conflict settings and pro-conflict settings?
Thank you for this question. It was, how will I put it now? A few months ago, I think in September, I was in Kigali. In fact, I went to the Memorial Center where I saw, dry bones, people that were massacred because of just one information and all of that. And I met a young man there. I think he's now 40. Yes, he said he was 10 years old when the genocide happened in Kigali, in Rwanda. So now I asked him a question. I said, have you forgiven the people that did? He said, yes, in the peace of in the interest of peace and togetherness and unity, you can't continue to live in the past and say that you want to promote unity, you want to promote peaceful coexistence and all of that. Like you said, let me put it in this way. Just one fake news can heat up any argument. It has killed in the past, just like we have it in Rwanda, calling people cockroaches and all of that, because you felt that these people, they are not, they are minority or they are minute of minority and all of that. You want to prove that, we own the larger space or land mass and all of that. So those are the things that we should let our people know, that Yoruba have an adage, that is very easier to call for a war. You can see it is happening, but you don't know how it's going to end, because a lot of things will have been destroyed and we will set ourselves back when it comes to development. So our media, they should be very careful. There are some information, they are very sensitive, and if you are not an expert in that area, just because you have access to microphone, just because you have access to media space, does not mean that you should just throw it open like that. You can seek experts to come and talk about it. You bring the people from this side, you bring the people from that side, and just say it. But it's just unfortunate that sometimes in Nigeria, money determines a lot of things when it comes to who owns the media space.
All right, thank you very much. Now, in less than a minute, if you can help me answer this question, still looking at the NSAS and future protests, this End Bad Governance and the rest, and any other protests that might come up, in what way or in what ways can media coverage of past conflicts inform current conflict management strategies, and what lessons can be drawn from historical reporting practices?
Yes, I'll say that just like the way I started, that we must balance the coverage. You understand? We must balance the coverage, give these people time, give the other side time, you know, go to the past, make references, what are the things, just like we have the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas or Gaza, or as it were, look at their losses, the children and all of that, that, you know, promoting a sensational story, it will not be in the good interests of the community, not just because of you. Even if you said you have a police, so many things will be destroyed, so many things will be on standstill. So those are the things we need to, you know, and media still need to do more research. You know, you just talk about Rwanda now. Let's look at the analysis, what has happened, what were the things that were destroyed, where are the people that suffered, where are they now, where are they supposed to be if that thing not have happened. You understand? So those are the things we need to do features on, we need to talk about it, we need to bring the advantages, and also highlight some of the peaceful resolutions too that were made from maybe two communities. We remember the conflict between Ife and Modakeke, where a lot of people are chasing themselves inside the farm, killing themselves just because we say we are the landowner. These people felt cheated and all of that. So those are the things we need to bring to bear. And like one of my mentors said, that Nigerians that we make history, we don't write history. I think he was talking to the media. We are forgetting the part. We want to live in the now, what is going on now. So by the time we are doing that, it will help even the people who are calling for war, who are calling for separation, who are calling for them to have a rethink. I think that's the way we should do it. And above all, let's balance our report and give both parties fair hearing or balanced coverage.
All right.
All right. I think this is a safe place to land. Thank you very much, Adeniyi Ifetayo. You have been brilliant, and we do appreciate your thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's my pleasure once again to be here.
You're welcome. And that was Adeniyi Ifetayo. He is a media analyst, and we've been talking about the role of the media in conflict management. So we're going to short break, and when we come back, we'll take trending stories. Please hold on.
I don't care what I am. Are you even looking at me that you can beat me? Or are you looking at me? What? Who the hell do you think you're talking to? Do you know who I am? I'm a senator of this republic. Do you know who I am? How dare you?
Are you slapping me, sir?
You see this place? You suffer. I'll deal with you.
Are you slapping me, sir?
I just did. Slap me back. Okay. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you?
That's fine.
Do you know who I am?
That's fine.
How dare you?
Did you just slap me 3 times, sir?
Twice. The third one you'll soon receive it. How dare you? Come on, get out of this place.
I need my payment, sir.
Come on, collect.
Alright, so this is where I am. I just got 3 slaps from this man here, just because I told him to come and get his stuff and pay me my money. So he's claiming that
Tell them my name is Honorable Alex Ikweche. I'm a member of the House of Reps. Tell them I slapped you.
Okay.
Call the Inspector General of Police. Call him. Let him come.
Okay, sir.
Record me very well. Record me very well.
All right. That's nice.
You came to my house to disrespect me?
I didn't disrespect you. I said pay me my money and let me leave.
Come on, give me that phone.
This is where I am. I'm actually with one man. He said he's a senator. I got a request to bring delivery to him. As you can see, I don't have a shirt. He shredded my clothes. And he slapped me 3 times.
Man, that was painful for me to watch. It was painful. I had you needed to see my expression. My eyes were going up, my mouth was hanging. I don't know what, Olumide, help me out here.
You know, it's funny, if the case was reversed, what would have happened to that driver? If it was the driver that did what the House of Rep did to him, what would have happened by now? He made 2 bold statements. He said, yes, I slapped you. I can make, now, we didn't get the part, before that part, he said that he can actually make him disappear in that video. Then the second, he said, go call the Inspector General of Police, let him come. It's the audacity for me. He had so much audacity. He came, he even corrected him at the point that, no, I gave you 2 slaps and you'll get 1 more if you, and in the other part, you saw it that he was not with clothes, he was shredded. This act is shameful, it's disgraceful, it is appalling.
And then it's like he didn't get to pay
exactly
the driver
now,
for
if you watch
his
the
services.
full video, I think the House of Rep member called a particular lady and he was telling the lady that he's not going to pay him. That he's not going to pay him. He's not going to do anything.
Well, I've not seen the full video yet.
Yes.
But I'm wondering, what did the driver do to provoke this kind of reaction from the lawmaker? What kind of disrespect? Because the lawmaker kept saying he had disrespected him. How did the driver approach the lawmaker? Was he insultive? Was he rude? Because some of these drivers can be very rude. But the thing is, no amount of, how will I say it, bad character or behavior should attract this kind of reaction, especially from a lawmaker. What's it called? He is a lawmaker.
Now, you now decided that you will not pay him. That man could charge you for fraud also. Yeah. That's another case over there, because you are expected to pay for services. And when you don't pay for services, that's another crime. Why would you not pay because he disrespected you? Is that a crime in our constitution? I mean, I hope the Inspector General of Police would really look. I would like to see the end of this case. I hope it will not be the case of the Elisha Elabo that was swept under the carpet after a while. I hope, and it gives us a clear picture of our political elite, how they behave, how they see the common man.
Yeah, but this is just one man.
This is just one man
out of the bunch of political elite, as he called them.
And I'm waiting to see what the Speaker of the House of Representatives is going to say. And I hope a committee will be set up to really investigate and probe this action. And if possible, some form of reprimand should be meted out to this to deter other people, because this act we cannot condone this act.
But it's important to say that the police spokesman has released a statement to say that they are aware of this incident and that investigation is ongoing.
Well, I hope that we would get more reports from this. We'll be following this report, but this is how much we can take for now. Let's go on a short break, and while we're at it, we'll take the weather forecast. We'll be right back. when you see the weather forecast, you already know that we are winding down to the end of the program. And as we wind down to the end of the program, a special thanks to everyone who participated, especially our guest, Dr. Adeniyi Ifetayo, and of course, and every other person who participated, not forgetting the producers, of course, the audio technicals, and every other person who made this show possible. Special thanks also to you out there watching us from wherever you are on all your mobile devices and television set. Let's do this again tomorrow, same time, same station. I am Olumide Shokoya. Remain blessed.
All right, so Olumide just conferred a doctorate degree on Adeniyi Ifetayo. Adeniyi Ifetayo is a media analyst. Well, before him, we had Dr. Adedayo Kayode, a sociopolitical technocrat. I want to say thanks to everyone that contributed to making the show a success, like he said. Until I come your way again, I am Vivian Oguche. Bye for now.